Just a little quick video right now. I was just on Facebook Marketplace and I was just trying to look at some collections. I'm getting low on raw singles stock. I've got a lot of cards out for grading right now, so I'm just trying to re-up on some of those singles that I sell on eBay. And I just paused for a sec because I saw immediately when I logged in on Facebook, like 2 to 3 different posts from, larger vendors in the area on the city's, um, Pokemon page, just saying, buying all modern singles, 1 to $100, at 85% cash. And I for a second, I was like, "How is anyone supposed to even compete with this anymore?" You know? Like, it's that is crazy, Like, I don't think in a year ago, I would have predicted that you'd have large vendors posting that they'll buy regular full arts and, the trainer galleries and low-end art rares at 85% cash. It's just crazy where this stuff has gone. Like, that because that was, like, what I logged on for. I grade a lot of cards. I'm probably at 250 this year. Whether that's a lot depends on your definition of a lot. I know people I've worked with some people, not worked with, but I guess I've talked to some people locally who grade, 500 a month, right? That's a lot. That's a shit ton. That is a shit ton of cards to grade a month. So like whether it's a lot, whatever. I'm getting off track. But it's just, it's crazy because I've sold earlier this year. I was able to sell a lot of cards in that, 1 to $100 range, selling them as singles on eBay, buying them in collections at 70 to 75%. And, in just a handful of months since then, it's like this has gotten so crazy that even I'm like priced out now of being able to buy and sell a lot of cards, and nothing special. It's not You're not talking crazy grail cards or anything like that, or maybe your special illustration rares that aren't as sought after. Like, you are talking about, a Togedemaru art rare from Phantasmal Flames, a Nimble art rare, like they're buying like art rares that are a dollar at 85%. And I'm not even sure what the angle is because I've gone to these shows and I buy from these guys. They're great people, like this is nothing against them. It's just they're taking advantage of the current market situation and they should. Like, if you have the chance, you need to go for it. Like, that's my whole like ethos on all of this stuff is like if you have the chance and you really like collecting and selling and you can make some money, like just go for it. I know there's a lot of people out there who say it's bad, but like as long as you're giving people deals, like go for it. And that's what they're doing. So I don't want this to sound like, anything against them. Um, but yeah, it's like those low end cards that they're selling, and I'm not even sure what the angle is because it's like I go to these shows. These guys have such high end stuff that I don't even see binders to flip through at their tables. So, I mean, maybe, they're expanding into like whatnot or something like that. But it is crazy because at this point I'm looking at these collections thinking to myself, well, on a good day, I'm getting 85 to 80%, 87% of a sale on eBay. And that's for, probably more high end items that I can charge more for. And it's not happening with those lower end cards. So I really, if I'm buying those lower end cards, like I gotta try to buy them between, you know, 70 to 80%. 80's probably, if it's a lot, if I know that they're in demand, I could probably do 80. I really try to be at 70 on those because things sit around, like, EX cards sit around, and, I clicked on the post and you just immediately see in the comments, it's like DM'd you, DM'd you, DM'd you, DM'd you. And it's like, of course. Because if you're selling that, getting 85% is phenomenal, like it was like as recently as just a couple months ago that like if you went to a show, it was just like a vendor was gonna give you 60 to 70%. Like, especially for stuff like that, like to see that level of card just, get a 85% cash offer basically across the board is insane to me, you know? So, at first I thought to myself, well, I'm basically priced out of this. And by no means, is that like, like I've got money from selling cards, like, but I just can't, am I going to take a loss if I buy everything at that rate? And it's true. It's like it is true, So I'm gonna have to look at, what can I buy at a competitive rate and still, you know, and still have room. I'm fine with buying some things to keep things moving when I'm really low on stock. Just something. It's something to keep the business churning. Um, to keep sales going, to keep getting sales and building a reputation, getting feedback, things like that. Like that's a cost of doing business that I'm okay with. But obviously, like I can't spend all my money just to do that, right? So like I know right now I've got a good amount of capital, and I'm just gonna have to figure out, you know, I mean, I'm going to a card show in like 20 minutes and, I'm going to buy a lot of hopefully modern there that's really well conditioned that I can then send out for another submission, but like that's going to come back in 3 months. Um, so I'm going to have to plan like what does it look like? For kind of those gaps between the submission I just got back, the next submission, the submission after that, so on and so forth. Because I do want to keep things moving. I'd like to keep selling. I like to keep getting better at this. Um, I think the more I buy and sell, the more people I meet in the hobby, and I want to keep that going too. So, gotta keep those things going. So it's just going to be a matter of trying to figure out like what does this look like now, um, with people buying at those rates. Like, where can I comfortably buy something at 80%, knowing that like I'm not going to be just bleeding cash. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. I'm curious to see how long that sticks around, because I'm not really sure I've ever seen anything like it. So if it's here to stay, got to adjust. Maybe it's just something that pops up because there's a big show coming up here, and these guys are trying to really stock up before that show over Memorial Day weekend. So that could be it too. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I know, if high end lots, where I've got some good gradable cards, I've been comfortable buying those at 80%, right? I bought one with a Mega Charizard XEX and Zekrom, the black monochrome. And like the Zekrom was completely gradable, and I was like, you know what? I'll take a chance at 80 because I think I can grade this and make money there. And I did. It just came back yesterday, it came back at 10 from tag. So, like that was worth it, right? Like I'm comfortable making those choices, but like, man, it's like, I used to be able to pretty easily go out there and buy like a collection, let's say a $500 to $600 collection of just full arts, EXs, art rares, things like that for 65 to 70%. And, I'd sell them on eBay or TCGPlayer, just probably tiny profit margins, nothing crazy, but enough to maybe, add something to collection or go towards the next lot purchase, offset some grading costs, whatever. Um, But it's like, man, I don't think I can do that with that. So, I'll have to see. Obviously, this is one of the disadvantages of being in a really big city. Um, is that there's a lot of competition for this kind of stuff. I watch a lot of other people on YouTube, and I see them talk about like, "Oh yeah, I just messaged someone saying, 'Hey, I'm willing to offer 70,' and like that does not even seem realistic where I'm at anymore. Like you're getting scoffed at if you offer 70. People in their listing titles have been offered low rates so much that they're now just saying like, I'm not taking anything under 80. So it's changing. It's changed so fast. It's crazy, but we're going to have to adjust. I'm thinking about trying to vend myself, you know, um, starting here soon. Actually, the show I'm about to go to is at a brewery. And I made a video a couple weeks ago about another brewery show. I really like the vibe of those because it's just like they're small, they're low key. So I'm thinking about starting to vend those types of shows, those smaller shows that are 4 to 5 hours. Only take one day of your weekend because I know I don't have the time right now to like actually like vend, to do it full time or to really go all in and go to these shows that are 2 days long and they're 10 to 5, right? Like I don't have the time for that. I don't want to do that either. Like, it's not even not having the time. If I did have the time, I would not want to do that. Like, that just sounds exhausting to me. I don't think I would have fun with it. So, yeah, I'm just trying to expand, I'm trying to think of like how can I adjust to this new like market that's changing where, you've got people buying at 85% cash at shows. It used to be you go to a show, you're going to get probably pretty lowballed by a vendor, it seemed like. And now you're getting a creme de la creme deal in straight cash, homie. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, I just wanted to, make a quick video because I've been thinking about it and I just wanted to, yeah, I just want to chat about it. So, let me know in the comments. I'm curious if you guys are seeing this in your area. I'm in a big city in the Midwest. So, I guess I'm wondering if this is kind of where the hobby's at, if this is something locally because we're having a big show coming up or what. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. The support I think so far on this channel has been awesome. We're coming up on 500 subscribers, and I honestly didn't think I would. I like when I started this, I wasn't even sure I would like get to a point where I was like, oh yeah, we're making a push to get to 500, or like I'll see that happen because there's definitely part of me that was like, this is really hard, and I might just tuck her out early on. But I've had a lot of fun doing it, and like obviously like the support's been great. So I appreciate it. If you watch, means a lot. Hit the like button, leave a comment, give me your thoughts, good or bad. I want to hear them. I just like the discourse. So, but yeah, anyway, I will talk to you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.